Hi. Hey, everybody. Hey, how are you doing? Long time no see. Everybody's like, long time no see, Linda. Long time no see. It's been a while. Hope all is well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much. I was a bit sick. Yes, COVID got me. I have to admit, it finally caught up to us. My husband also got it. We were all sick in this house. And also, I got my eyes lasered. So there were a lot of things going on. So that's why it's been a while since, yeah, I could go live. But I'm back. I'm back again. And I really missed you guys. So thank you so much for all of your comments. And for being here today, for taking some time out of your day, to spend it with me. And I think today's topic will also be very interesting to a lot of you because it's very important to know when you need to apply for Tefl jobs, right? When is the perfect time to apply to get that dream job? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, first things first, as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You're already here. We are still going live, even though we had a little bit of a break. We're still going live every week. So this will continue. Don't you worry. So please just like and subscribe. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, as always. So like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and so on. So you will get notified whenever we go live, so you don't miss any of these upcoming sessions. And yeah, also let me know. As always, I like to ask this question first. Where are you right now? Where are you watching from today? Let me know. I'm always super curious. Leave a comment where you're watching from, what time it is there, perhaps. So I am in South Korea, still in South Korea. It is 10:30 a.m. Friday morning, so I'm very happy to be here. I already had my morning coffee, so I only have water this time. So maybe also grab a beverage, get some snacks. You can settle in. I feel like a YouTuber. That's what they all say, don't they? Grab some snacks and settle in. But yeah, this is what we're going to talk about today. As always, these sessions take about, I would say today, maybe not 1 hour. We'll see how many questions you guys have. We always have up to an hour or a little more. But I think maybe today would be 40 minutes, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. Hard to predict, but yeah, it's some comprehensive information. Not too much, not too little. I think just right. Yeah, made in the 80s LA is still in the Southwest USA. Nice. Great. That's a nice place to be. Good. And what time is it there? Are we like 12 hours different? Is it like 10 p.m.? Is it 9 p.m.? Not quite sure. I'm not that good with time differences. Obviously, I know like where my people are at the time there and the difference, but other than that, yeah. Yes, and also let me just say that right off the bat. Hold on. Yes. So we also, as always, if you watched before, we do have a 30% off opportunity. 30% off any Tefl or TESOL course. So today we're actually not going to talk about Tefl or TESOL too much unless you have some questions. So there will be Q&A at the end where you can ask your questions. But if you are not yet Tefl or TESOL certified, it will definitely boost your resume. And in some countries, it is even a requirement to teach. So a Tefl or TESOL is always a great idea to have. If you don't have one yet, you can get any Tefl or TESOL course 30% off today with, you can either scan this QR code here that you see here, or we also have a link that you can use if the QR code doesn't work. It looks like this. I'm going to share it right now in the comments. So it looks like this. It ends with Facebook Live, my FB Live minus Linda. So that's the 30% off code. You can copy paste this code and fill out your application and you get 30% off. So I think we're back with a great start here after this break. 30% off. You're welcome, guys. All right, it's about 16 hours behind Korea. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I remember. I used to live in San Diego and it was 16 hours. So it's 6 p.m. Oh, not too late. That's good. That's good. All right, perfect. What about anybody else watching here? Where are you watching from? Where are you guys at right now? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm in South Korea. How about you? Where are you guys? Meanwhile, if you're watching this for the first time, let me just introduce myself so you know who I am. And you're like, who is this person? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay. All right. So, my name is Linda. I am a travel writer and content creator. That's one of the many things that I do. I do a lot of things, as you'll see. And my name, my handle, my brand is Linda Goes East. And East because I've always been super interested in Asia ever since I was a teenager. I started out with studying Mandarin Chinese and I lived in China for a bit. And then I ended up in South Korea, where I've been now for over 7 years. Yeah, if you're more interested in Asia and in living in Asia, traveling to Asia, you can check out lindagoeseast.com. And also on Instagram, I'm very active over there at Linda Goes East. If you're into Asian content, travel tips, travel destinations, and things like that, you can check it out as well. I'm originally from Germany slash USA. So my mom is German, my dad is American. And yeah, like I said, now I'm based in South Korea, but I've also lived obviously in Germany, in America, in China, and in South Korea. And I've traveled to over 30 different countries so far. And I'm very excited. We are going on a vacation tomorrow. We're going to Thailand. I'm very excited. So, next week, I'm also not going to be here. We're going to skip one more week, but after that, I'll be back regularly. Okay. Anyway, I am also a Tefl and TESOL marketing professional for Itttt. I've been working with Itttt or for Itttt for six 6 years. I feel like full time, and then also I had a couple of I started on part time. Anyway, long time already with Itttt. What is Itttt? If you don't know, it stands for International Tefl and TESOL Training. So we provide teacher training. If you want to go abroad to teach English professionally or online or in your own home country, you can get a TEFL or a TESOL certificate, which will teach you exactly how to lead a classroom, how to teach English as a foreign language, right? And you can find Itttt at International TEFL Training on Instagram. And also, we're on all the other socials as well. And we are actually also a leading Tefl and TESOL course provider. So we've been around for a very, very long time. We've been around for 25 plus years. So a long time worldwide. So, yeah, that's what Itttt is. And this is who I am. And here is Daniel. Hi. Daniel says, this is great. Linda's back in town. I am back in town. How are you? Are you in Mexico still? Where are you at, Daniel? All right. Though I'm looking to be an alt in Japan and have no formal education in English, I find this program has been extremely helpful and has given me great insight into the profession. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yes, so a lot of you guys watching are already TEFL or TESOL certified. Maybe with Itttt, maybe with a different provider. Doesn't matter. We are here for everybody. It's totally free weekly sessions, just information for you guys totally for free. So many of you are already TEFL or TESOL certified, but many of you are not. So if you're not yet, again, you can take advantage of this 30% off opportunity and get TEFL certified and also start your dream life of living and working abroad in different countries and teaching English. It's a great way to see something of the world, experience a new culture. So why not? Why not? A lot of people are doing it maybe just for a gap year. After a year, they go back home. But many people are also kind of, they say, oh yeah, I'm just going to do it for a year or two, but then actually they stay permanently or they move on to a different country and teach there. So everything is possible with a TEFL certificate. All right, good. then let's start talking about today's topic. So as I mentioned before, this is what we're going to talk about. And the best time to apply for TEFL jobs, really, this is the key thing for us to understand. It depends on two things. First is the country you want to teach in, and the institution, the type of school you want to work for. So those are the two main things on which it depends when the best time to apply for jobs is. Because different countries have different academic years, different hiring seasons, and also different types of schools, different types of language schools or institutions also have a different time when they hire. Okay, so those are the two things we're going to look at more in detail. We're also going to look at specific hiring seasons in different countries, and maybe you guys can help and add some information from your own country there. That'd be cool. And we're also going to look at online teaching, when to apply for online teaching jobs. And that's about it in a nutshell. So that's what we're going to look at today. And yeah. So when is the best time to apply? Let's jump in. I'm going to take one more sip of water. So I still have a little bit of a weird spot in my throat that is sometimes bugging me. So if I cough, I apologize. I'm also going to need to drink a bit more water. But sometimes I just have to cough a little bit, so I apologize in advance. All right, Danielle says, yes, I'm tuning in from Mexico City, ready for a new live session. Great. All right, I'm ready too. I hope everybody else is ready as well. Okay, let's see. So first, we're going to look at the different types of schools, institutions, and when they hire, so we can understand better. First off, just in general, what kind of schools there are that most teachers end up working at. So one very common type of school is a government/public school. And there you will be teaching learners aged 4 or sometimes older, maybe 6 to 18. So all the way from elementary to high school, right? Those are the public schools you might work for. And if you are a public school, government school teacher, you are either a main teacher or you also can be an assistant teacher. Like in Japan, an assistant language teacher, where there's a Japanese teacher. That's how it is in Japan. A Japanese teacher, and then also you in the classroom at the same time. Or you sometimes take over a bit of the class, but you are not the main teacher in some cases. In some cases, you are the class teacher. You're responsible for a whole class. Or sometimes you're just the English teacher, so you only teach English, but then you would teach, all the classes in the whole school. So depends on the type of school, the country, whatever, how they structured their foreign teachers. So this can happen. Typically, with this kind of position, you teach during school hours, and you're also possibly involved with after-school clubs, such as drama or art or tennis or English literature or anything like that, book club or whatever else there is. So this is a typical layout of a public school position for an English teacher. However, there's also a language school. So this would be a private school, private language institution, or after school language school. So here you would teach learners of all ages, sometimes, especially in Asia, mostly, again, children, but you might also just be teaching adults. It really depends on the language school. These language schools really can have classes any time of the day, but a lot of times, especially in Asia, and especially if you are teaching children, you would teach in the late afternoon and evenings. So a lot of these positions actually start at 1 p.m. I used to work at a school like this, and I started at 1 p.m. and then was done at 9, I think. Something like that. Yeah, I think 1 to 9. That's a very common time if you work at a private language school. But there's also, I've worked for other private language schools where they had a regular 9 to 5 time. So it really depends. Yeah, and the students, they can really start at any time and stay at the school for a week or a year or anything in between. So some of these language schools, they have their own courses, and whenever they have a 3-month course or a 4-month course, a 6-month course, a 1-year course, it really depends. So these start dates will vary, but some private language schools, they also work the same and follow the same academic year like the public schools. So it depends. Then we have universities. They have a very set schedule, right? They have a very set start and end date semesters. So, and here you teach adults during the day, or sometimes evening classes can happen too. And then we also have summer camp positions. This is very common, especially in Europe. And here you would teach mainly high school learners, or also elementary or middle school, really, over a number of weeks. So, usually, obviously, during summer vacation. And they also have a very set start and end time. So, when do these types of schools now hire? So, when it comes to government or public schools, they follow the academic year of that country. And so, different countries have different academic years and academic schedules, right? But obviously, so these are when the hiring seasons are, but they don't hire right like 1 month in advance. They hire a couple months in advance, and schools also prefer to hire teachers for the beginning of the year. So there's always a first semester, second semester, or first half of the school year, second half of the school year. But schools, they hire for the first half, for the beginning of the whole year, and they need teachers to commit to at least a year and sometimes even 2 years. So it's very rare to just have a teacher work for 6 months, for example, for one half of the school year. So here you really need to commit to at least 1 year. This is the same with the universities, of course, right? Universities, same thing. They also obviously have different start dates in different countries, and sometimes it's also not the same like the public schools. Like in Germany, it's different. In Germany, public schools, depends on the state you're in, they start either in August or in September. But then the universities, they all start in October. So it's different. Depends on the country. But again, if for university jobs, they need you to commit to at least a year or sometimes even 2 years. Then we have the private language schools. So here, some private language schools, they actually follow the public school year calendar and have similar hiring seasons. But other private schools, especially those who have like courses, if this is like a 3-month course or a 1-month intensive course, they have their own schedule. So they really hire throughout the year. So here you don't have to worry about any strict hiring seasons. Private language schools, some of them hire anytime. Then we have the summer camps, which obviously this is popular in Europe, like I mentioned, and this happens in July and August, and they recruit around 3 months before. So this is something you need to know. If you want a summer camp position, July and August, 3 months in advance, this would be March, April, May, when they hire for these positions. Okay? All right. Good. Now, let's have a look at the different hiring seasons in different countries around the world. All right? And maybe some of you guys can help me out here, how it is in your country. So, typically, they have the public schools, they follow this academic calendar, and schools, they don't hire teachers in just 1 month before the new academic year, right? They begin recruiting and hiring a few months before. Some countries a couple months, and some countries more months in advance. So it depends on the country. We're going to look at a table and the different countries and hiring seasons in a minute. However, this is usually for visa reasons, and because of the fact that Tefl teachers, they usually just need time to relocate to a new city and to the schools. It just takes time. And countries that have a lot of visa regulations and have stricter visa regulations, there it's just going to take more time to get it all done, to get the paperwork. You have to wait for your visa. If the more complicated the visa process is, the earlier they start hiring before their start date. So let's have a look at this. So here we have different hiring seasons for TEFL jobs around the world. So for example, we have Brazil. If anybody's here watching from Brazil, you could let me know if this is correct, but this is what I've found. The academic year starts in February in Brazil, so the new school year starts in February, and so they hire actually in December and in January. Those are the main hiring seasons. So if you want to work in Brazil, for example, you need to be ready. You need to have all of your documents, your TEFL certificate and everything ready by December if you want to start working in February. So always, the earlier you start, the better. The earlier you start this process, the better it is. For South Korea, on the other hand, their school year starts in March. So they start recruiting in January and February. However, there are also some programs like the EPIC program in Korea, the English program in Korea, a placement program. They actually start hiring even earlier. And we're going to talk about these different programs as well and when they hire. Then we have, for example, Argentina, which is actually the same as South Korea. So again, their academic year starts in March and they start hiring in January and February. Then if we look at Japan, their year starts in April. So if you want to go to Japan and teach there, the hiring season will be February and March. So you need to have everything ready by then if you want to go to Japan. Thailand is May. So they actually hire in March and April, and they also have a secondary hiring season for November. So some countries will have one main hiring season and then a secondary hiring season where they also hire, but just not as much, but you can also find positions then. So it's March and April, the main hiring season in Thailand, but they also hire in November for the second half. All right, then we have Vietnam. Their year starts in August, and so they recruit in May and June. And now this is interesting, and maybe Daniel can give us some input here. But Mexico, their academic year starts in August, and they already start recruiting in February. So they are a bit earlier. Their process of recruiting and hiring starts a lot earlier compared to all the other countries. So yeah, Daniel, let us know if this is accurate, if this is correct. That the school year starts in August and that the hiring season is February, if you know. So we can just confirm that. But then we also have China here, which the school year starts in September, and they already start recruiting in January and February. And this is one of the cases what I talked about earlier, where just the visa process is a lot more complex. They have a lot more requirements. It takes longer. So that's why they already start hiring so much in advance, because all the paperwork takes more time. It takes more time to get approved, the visa and all the documents and stuff. So that's why China is earlier. Spain, for example, here we have September, and they also have a main hiring season in July and August, and they have a secondary hiring season in January again for the second half of the year. And then we have the United Arab Emirates, and their academic year starts in August, and they start hiring in March all the way to June. So they have a very long hiring season, but they also start early in March. So this is something to keep in mind. Obviously, there's more countries, and I actually have done a video, a live session before about hiring seasons in different countries. So if the country you want to go to is not here on this table, it might be in the live session I did previously. So I just want to show you that you can have a look here. This is the video I have done in the past. I'm going to show you, I'm going to share the link so you can just have a look if you're interested. But yeah, this was the live session. So this is called the top hiring seasons for teaching English abroad. This is from March 2021. And let me just share the link with you so you can watch this live session that I've done before about the different hiring seasons if the country that you would like to teach in was not on the table that we just discussed. Or just for more information about specific countries and their hiring seasons, this is good to know. All right, good. Takes always some time. Good, but if anybody has any questions so far, Or if you are from a country that wasn't mentioned here on this table, and you can share when the academic year starts and when the hiring season is, that'd be also really great. Before we move on to the next point, I don't want to go too fast, so please slow me down if it's too fast, or if I'm too slow, you can also let me know. Of course. All right. I'm just going to move on to the next point here. So now we're going to have a look at the different teaching programs with their own application deadlines. So sometimes they will follow the academic year, but sometimes they won't. Okay, before we do that, I have a comment here from Daniel. So let's have a look. Daniel says, well, I think the hiring process will depend on the school here in Mexico City. They may hire new teachers at any time. Exactly. So the type of school. So with this hiring season, this is mainly for the public schools, the government schools. But again, private language schools, they have their own time, and they just hire at any time. So it depends on the type of school you want to work for, right? So this would mainly be for schools that follow the official academic calendar and year. But again, private language schools, they hire at any time they want, right? If they don't follow this schedule. Good point, Daniel. Thank you. Good. So, teaching programs. So, these are programs, government funded programs that will place foreign teachers into schools in their country, right? Like the EPIC program in Korea, the JET program in Japan, the TAPIV program, and so on. So, they all have their own different deadlines, they vary. So, for example, the JET program, which is a very, very big and popular teaching program, they have their hiring process in October and January. But they start actually, the school year starts in July or August. So for the JET, they begin recruiting much earlier because it's a very popular, a very competitive program. They get a lot of applicants. And they also, what the great thing about the JET program is that you don't need to be an English native speaker. You don't have to be from an English speaking country in order to join the program. So that's why it says depending on your country. So depending on your country, your visa regulations might vary, and then it might take more or less time, but between October and January. So if you want to join the JET program, you need to be ready by October to start in the following year, July or August, right? Then for EPIC, which is the program in South Korea, they recruit in August if you want to start in February for the new school year. But they also have a secondary hiring season for the second semester, the second half of the academic year. So they recruit in February to start in August. And for the secondary one, there are less positions. So you'll find a lot more positions for in the hiring season in August to start in February, because that's the main school year. And like we discussed, most schools, they will hire a teacher who needs to commit to the whole year. You cannot just start in the middle. But sometimes, something happens and teachers leave, or sometimes they just hire like that. But it's fewer positions for August for sure. Then also a popular program is the TAPIV program in France, and they start in mid-October, and they recruit already in January. So also a lengthy recruitment process, because you have to write an essay for this program, and there's a lot of interviewing, again, very competitive. So they want to make sure they get the best possible candidates, and the recruitment process is quite lengthy. And it's competitive. A lot of people apply. So if you want to do the TAPIV program in France to start in October, you need to be ready by January and apply. Then we have the North American Language and Culture Assistance Program, which is also called NALCAP in Spain. and they start in August or in September, depending on the province, I believe, or the region. And they start recruiting in January, and the whole process takes until April. Again, big program, very popular, very competitive. So that's why it's a lengthy process. You need to have a lot of documents. And again, this is Europe, so it's a bit more strict with things. So that's why it takes longer. So if you want to join the NALCAP program in Spain to start in August or in September, you need to have your things ready and start applying in January. These are just some examples, 4 of like the biggest, the most well-known teaching programs. There are many, many more programs like this, and I've actually done videos and live sessions about this in the past, and I can recommend 2 live sessions to you guys. So we actually have one that I did. This was in, where's the date? I can't see the date. Anyway, this was a longer time ago. About the best government programs for teaching English abroad. So these are all of them, or not all of them, but like the most popular ones around the world. So you can check that out. And also all the application deadlines for all of these programs. This is that link. And then there is another one, which is specifically for Europe, because Europe actually has a lot of these programs. And I'm just fetching the link for you. And again, they're very competitive. Some of them more, some of them less. But they also have their own application deadlines, their own hiring seasons. So if this is something you're interested in, I also recommend you check this out. This is the second live session I've done in the past. It was not too long ago. And yeah, these are the best government programs for teaching English in Europe. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely look into those live sessions for more information. Daniel says, yes, that applies mainly for public schools since the government may offer English teachers a job position along with a retirement program. Yeah, so this is for the hiring season in Mexico. Exactly. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. All right, so these were the teaching programs. Just one thing to know, they all have different deadlines, and some of them also don't follow, even though they place teachers into public schools. The hiring seasons, they usually start very, very early. So you need to look at the program you're most interested in and when their hiring season is. And that's why I recommend these previous live sessions for more information. And always the official websites, if there's a teaching program you're interested in, go to their official website and check out exactly when their hiring process is. They usually have a deadline. It will say application until this and this date, and sometimes time. They're very, very strict. So you need to be on top of that if that's what you want to do. All right, then we're going to have a look at ESL Online. So online teaching, when to apply for online positions. And this is super easy peasy, actually. Online platforms generally don't have any hiring seasons. So you can literally register or apply at any time. However, some platforms, and I've seen this many times, they actually might stop accepting new members or new teachers after a certain number of teachers on their platform. So, for example, I've seen this on some platforms where it's specific to languages, if it's not only English, but for example, they already have enough English teachers, so they don't accept any new English teachers, but they accept French or Spanish or German teachers. So this can happen. Or if this is an English-only platform, and for example, they say, we already have enough US American teachers, so we're now only looking for teachers from other English-speaking countries if they want to get a variety of accents, for example. So this can happen. But usually you'll see that on the website or on the application form. It'll show you right away, and you're not even able to apply then if you fall into one of those categories. And yes, the hiring process, obviously, for online jobs is quite quick compared to an actual teaching job in a different country. There's not much paperwork involved. You don't need to get a visa, etc. But it's also important to keep in mind it doesn't happen overnight. It's not you fill out the application and boom, tomorrow you are teaching. There is also a process, an interview process. It's much, much faster compared to teaching jobs abroad, yes, but they also, depending on the platform, have a hiring process, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc. Different interviews you need to pass. Maybe you also need to do an English language test to prove your abilities. You have to do a face-to-face interview, or face-to-face with video, a video interview. You might even have to teach a mock lesson. It depends on the platform, but it's not instant. It's not like you sign up and then you're teaching the next day. So that's just something to keep in mind. It also takes some time. I would say mine was actually quite fast. I think it took maybe a week. But that was because, well, I signed up as an English and a German teacher, and I think they had a lot of English teachers already, but not so many German. So they really pushed kind of that application through faster, I believe. But it depends for sure. So took a week, but for some it can take maybe a month until everything is in order. And some English teaching platforms, they might even require you to submit a background check. So if you don't have that yet, you need to get that, and it takes time. So it depends on the platform. So yeah, these are some things to keep in mind. And also, if you're interested in teaching English online, I have a previous live session for you again. This is from September 2021. Still applies today. Obviously, not much has changed. So feel free to check that out. This is the complete guide to teaching online. If you want to pursue a career in teaching online, check out this previously done live session about teaching online, all the ins and outs, how to go about, how to start, which platforms are out there, which platforms are good, how much do they pay, what requirements do they have, etc. So yeah, check that out if you're interested in online teaching. All right, then let's recap. So this was all the information from today. So just keep in mind, the best time to apply for TEFL jobs depends on two things mainly. First, the country you want to teach in. They have different academic years, different hiring seasons, and the institution you want to work for. So some, like public schools, will follow the academic year, but the public schools, they can hire at any time. So public and state-run schools, they have hiring seasons according to the academic years of that country, which vary, like we looked at the table. Different countries have different school years. Private schools, they hire throughout the year without a strict hiring schedule, so you can apply at any time. However, some actually also follow the academic calendar. Then we spoke about the summer camps. So in Europe, this is usually in July and August, and they are often filled 3 months in advance. So they would hire in the springtime. You can look out for that if you want to have a summer camp position. Sometimes I've even seen job offers in winter for summer camps. So it depends. Just be early. Teaching programs like JET or EPIC or TAPIF or NELCAP, etc., they all have their own application deadlines. So if this is something you want to join, a specific teaching program, I recommend you check out their official website and exactly their application deadline. They'd be very strict. They would put the exact day and time, sometimes even, on their website when the deadline is. And everything that comes in after is not going to be considered. Very strict, because they're very competitive, because they're very, very good programs. So check those out. And then we talked about online teaching platforms, and they don't have any hiring seasons, so you can actually register and apply at any time. But some of them will not accept new members if they already have enough. So, pick a few platforms that you'd like to work for and apply to several. And lastly, I hope you're ready. You feel more confident now in finding a TEFL job abroad or online or wherever you want to go. And just keep in mind that the general rule of thumb here is to start the application process as early as possible. If you have all your things in order, you have your TEFL certificate, you have your resume, you have your pictures, you have your passport, you have everything everything that you can prepare. If you have that as early as possible, you can take advantage of obviously more opportunities, right? The worst thing would be if you're not ready, you don't have all your documents, you didn't complete the course, and there's an application deadline for your dream position, but you're not ready. So just make sure, as always, do as much research as possible, like joining these live sessions, reading blogs, searching on the websites, the official websites for schools or for government programs, and just to know exactly what the timeline is, map it out so that you're ready to apply for your dream job. You don't have to miss out on anything. All right, and here we have a comment. The public and state-run schools are what I'm interested in working for. A better chance that I can work in a city like Tokyo, Osaka, or others. Yes, absolutely. Great. For sure. So this means we are at the end now, and I just want to show you real quick how you can reach us on our website, teflcourse.net. There's actually a request a callback button, so if you would like to speak with somebody from Itttt over the phone, we can do that. Another great way to reach Itttt is courses@tsel-tefl.com. That's always a good way, and you can find a lot of information about hiring seasons, about TEFL courses, about different countries, different courses, different teaching jobs, everything related to that on teflcourse.net. We also have a very big FAQ section. You just put teflcourse.net/FAQ and you'll see a big FAQ section. And if you have any questions, it's probably very likely that your question is answered there. However, if not, I'm still here. I still have time to answer some of your questions. And just a reminder before we sign off that there is a 30% off opportunity today off of your TEFL or TESOL course. Remember, a TEFL or TESOL course is the first step towards your adventure of teaching abroad or teaching online, creating that dream life of traveling abroad, living abroad, or creating a career in online teaching, getting rid of the 9-to-5, being your own boss. So all of this you can do with a TEFL or TESOL certificate. So if you're not yet certified, highly recommend it. Get 30% off your TEFL course today. You can either scan this QR code, or I'm just going to share the discount link one more time in the comment. Oh, in the comment section. No, I just posted the. Is that what I wanted to do? One more time. There you go. This link. This is the link you should look out for, and then you just copy paste it, fill out your application, and you'll get 30% off your TEFL course. All right. Good. And then we are officially here in the Q&A part of this live session. If anybody has a question either about what we talked about today or about anything else related to TEFL, TESOL, teaching, Itttt, anything like that, let me know. Let me know and I will do my best in answering. And I'm just going to make myself bigger so you can see me better. And here Danielle said, not ready yet, but looking forward to it. There's some paperwork to get done before applying for a job position abroad. Yeah, so the paperwork depends. What I mean by ready, all the paperwork that you can get ready on your own. So your TEFL certificate, your other certificates, cover letters, resumes, passport and passport photos, all the things that you can get ready if you have those ready in time. And then usually the next step will be you send out applications, you do interviews, and then when you're hired, the school will also help you with the rest of the paperwork. So this is a process that you'll do together, because they sometimes either need to go to the embassy to like register you, or they need to send you. You need to have the contract. You need to show the embassy the contract, your job contract, and then you can get the visa. So yeah, it's all about that. Okay, great. Maiden asks, have you heard anything about age being a factor when it comes to hiring in Asia? Yeah, and I actually also did a live session about that before. About, does age really matter when it comes to teaching abroad? So with Asia, some countries, they actually have age restrictions. Some of them do, and those are mainly related to the local retirement age. So, for example, in China, it's actually low. It's quite low. I think it's for women, it's 55, and then for men, it's 60. Might have changed, but if you're, and generally, if you're older than 60, it can be difficult. But I have even in China, I have met people who were older than 60 and they were still teaching. So it sometimes also just depends on the school. But it's, and some schools will have like some prejudice, or they think, especially for teaching children, they would think, oh, older teachers don't have so much energy, they prefer younger teachers. But then again, I feel like for some language schools, especially those catering to adults, they will prefer somebody older, with more experience. So it really depends. There is no, some countries will have that, so you would have to look at the specific country. But if you are younger than 50, you shouldn't have any problems, or younger than 60. So again, it depends on the specific country and their retirement age. But generally, if you really want to work in Asia as an English teacher, you can always find a position no matter how old you are. All right, good question. Good question. All right. Anybody else has any questions? Let me know. Good stuff. Feels good being back too. I feel like, yeah. Yeah, let me maybe find this video so I can share. Yes, here. I found it. November 2021. Does age matter when teaching English abroad? Here, I'm going to share it with you real quick in the comments. You can copy paste that and watch it. Looks like this one. Oh, did it not come through on Facebook? Hold on. Oh, you're on YouTube anyway. All right. Okay, David here has a question. Hello, I just started my Tefl course. Is Tefl the same as TESOL? Great question. So Tefl stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language, and TESOL stands for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. So a little bit different, but the course content is exactly the same. So the only difference with Tefl and TESOL really is that some countries just prefer one term over the other. So in Europe, the term Tefl is more frequently used, whereas in America and I believe in Australia, TESOL is more commonly used. So that's really the only difference. It depends on your own preference. Or at Itttt, you can actually choose whether your certificate says Tefl or TESOL on it. You can pick that. But the training, the units, everything you learn is exactly the same. Yeah, no problem. Okay, nice. All right. I still have some time, so if somebody has more questions, I'm still here. I know it's been a long time since I was on, so maybe some of you have more questions. We didn't do this in a while. But yeah. Again, you can always watch the replays of all of these live sessions. They're always in our playlist, so I recommend browsing that. We've talked about so many different topics related to teaching in Tefl in the past. So go ahead and check that out on YouTube and on Facebook. We have a playlist of all of our live sessions. And even if you're watching this as a replay and you leave a comment, we'll also get back to you. So no problem if you've missed this live. you can still leave a question here in the comments and we'll get back to you. Or you can reach us. Where is it? Hello. You can reach us. Why is it not working? My slides stopped working. Oh, here. You can reach us via our website or email courses@tsl-tefl.com. Amitava, how are you doing? Amitava says, hello, Linda. How are you? How are your eyes functioning now? I hope you have had a successful laser operation of your eyes to rid you of your spectacles. It has been almost no see-no here on live sessions for almost 3 weeks. I know, it's been so long. But yes, so I did get LASIK laser eye surgery. Before, I always wore contact lenses, and then before the surgery I was only allowed to wear glasses for a couple of weeks. So I did that. The laser surgery went very well. I still have some dryness sometimes, and I have a lot of eye drops like this that I need to apply or use every day. But I would say it's 99% good now. But the only thing, I had my laser eye surgery, and then 2 or 3 days later, I actually got COVID as well. So it was two things coming together, which is super stressful. We were very sick. My husband also had COVID. We were in the same house. We were miserable for a couple of days. And then with my eyes too, it was very difficult. So I could not, unfortunately, have any live sessions during that time. But now everything is better. I feel better. I feel great. My eyes are good. So that's why I am back today. But as I mentioned earlier, so next week, because actually these are weekly live sessions, but next week I will actually be on summer vacation. So next week there will be no live session. But then after that, I will be back, and we'll be back on a regular schedule every week. So thank you for asking. But yeah, so now is your time. If you have any questions about Tefl or TESOL, I'm going to take a couple more questions if there are any before I sign off. And yeah, it was really nice being back and really nice talking to all of you guys and seeing you again, so to speak. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Daniel says, off-topic question here. Is there any website similar to Itttt for teaching German that you recommend? So if you want to be a German teacher, like a certificate, is that what you're saying? There actually is a certificate like Tefl for teaching German. I forget what it's called, but the Goethe Institute offers that. So if you Google Goethe Institute, and then you can check, I think they have like on their website a thing where it's teach German or something like that, and you can actually take a course and become a German teacher. That is possible. They have that as well, but it is actually a lot more pricey than Tefl. So, but yeah, it is possible. But you should look into Spanish, no, Daniel? I know there's also a certificate like that for Spanish. I don't remember what it's called, but for being a Spanish teacher, that'd be cool. You are Mexican, right? Or are you German? Maybe. I'm just assuming. You can never assume anything, right? Just assume. All right, but good question. Good question. So that's the other thing, right? With teaching English, it's great, especially online. But I always say, if you can speak another language or you're fluent in another language, you can also teach that one online. So that's what I do. I teach English and German. It's a lot of fun. It also makes you a better teacher in both languages if you have more experience. Ah, yes, tele. For Spanish, it is tele, the teaching. What does it stand for? Tele, Spanish. Tele exams. Yes. Good. Oh, diplomas de español como lengua extranjera. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to be a Spanish teacher, you can take the DELE certificate. Nice. Thank you, John. Okay, Jennifer, is there an age limit for being a teacher? Yeah, we just talked about that. Somebody actually asked the same question. Some countries will have age limits in terms of retirement age. So, for example, in China, it's 60 for men and 55 for women. Some countries will have that. So if you're older than that, it can be difficult. But in general, there is no age limit for being a teacher. So it depends on the country where you want to go to. So maybe check that out in detail. It depends. Yes, Danielle. Didn't know about DELE. Yeah, maybe you should look into that. I think that'd be really cool to have as well. Okay, David says, I've got another question in regard with the materials in the course. Is it recommendable to write down everything on the worksheet, or is it just good to take some notes from it? So it really depends on your own personal preference and your study style. We have some students who print out everything and keep it in a binder, which I think is really great. You can always download all of the things and have it just as PDF files on your computer, and then maybe read it on a tablet or on your phone. Some people like to write a lot and fill out the worksheets. So it really depends on how you learn best, right? So if you don't know how you can learn best, maybe you can just try a couple of different methods, and then maybe you find the one that works for you. But it's really up to you. As long as you study the material and you pass the assessments after that, then it's all good. All right. Amitava says, OMG, I hope you're convalescing and recuperating well and soon. How good is the EPIC program in South Korea and chances of being recruited as an Indian for the 2023 session? Yes. So for an Indian, and we talked about this is actually great because the EPIC program has this special clause for Indian citizens, because actually you can only teach English in South Korea if you are from one of 7 English-speaking countries. So it's very limited to native speakers only, unfortunately. But Indians, if you have all the other requirements and you have an Indian teaching license, then you can also teach English in South Korea. So that's the only requirement. So how good is the EPIC program? It's very, very good. I know I haven't been in it, but I know a lot of people who are in it, who have been in it, and they love it. There's a lot of support. There's an orientation. The schools are really nice. So it's a pretty good program, long established. And they also have a section on their website for Indians. So check that out. I have read on their website before. Yeah, so there is a special, right? They can be limited. So there may be not that many positions for Indian citizens, but they have this clause. So just Google, and I just did that, put into Google EPIC program Korea Indian, and then you'll find information on that. All right, Daniel said, Linda, your Spanish sounds quite great, by the way. Yeah, I actually studied Spanish for 2 years, like full time. And then before that, on my own, I was always really interested in Spanish. I think it's such a beautiful language, and I really want to learn more again. I feel like I've forgotten a lot. So yeah. I'm looking for a Spanish teacher, Daniel. Maybe. Maybe? Okay, John says, the Instituto Cervantes in Spain organizes the DELE exams. Okay, nice. David says, all right, thank you very much. I'm really new in the TESOL world. I would like to know something. How likely is it that I find a job after I have just finished the course? Is it easy to find a job abroad right away, or would I need to acquire some experience in my home country? So there is no one answer to this question. It really depends on a couple of things. So it depends on the country you want to go to and how the teaching market is there at the moment. How is the demand? It also depends on the country where you're from, right? Your nationality. Some countries have strict visa regulations. They only allow in people from certain countries or not. So it depends. So you might have to be a little bit more flexible. If you are very flexible, I believe that it is very easy to find a job right after completing the course. Also depends on your own personal background, how old you are, or, your experience prior to this, or your personality, your willingness to wherever you want to go to. It's always good, like I said in this presentation as a tip, to start as early as possible with anything. Because you never know how long things can take, and you never know what can happen. I mean, nobody expected something like COVID. So, you never, it's very unpredictable. There's no one answer. So my tip is just to start as early as possible and to be flexible, be open-minded. Don't just be set on one particular destination. Have an open mind. Don't be discouraged quickly. It's a competitive market out there, and but it's possible. It's not impossible. It depends on you. It might take more time. It might take less time. There's really no one answer for this, unfortunately. I'm a very positive person, and I always believe, like, if something will be, it'll be. If something is meant to be, it'll be. Where one door closes, another one opens. That's the kind of person I am. I don't know. If you keep a positive look out on life, then good things will come to you. Yeah. All right, let's take one final question, and then I'll be on my way into the weekend. I'm going on vacation, so I need to pack my suitcase. What is one thing you always bring on a trip? Let me know, just in case, because I feel like I always forget something. So what is, like, the most important thing that you never want to forget when you go on a trip? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Your number one item that you always need to bring on vacation. And not something like your passport. We all bring that. We know that. But something, I don't know, something else. For me, it's probably sunscreen. I need to bring my sunscreen. Yeah. Probably sunscreen. I can't forget that. I would probably die without it. I'm very pale, and I never tan. I just get red and then straight back to pale. Very sad. Anyway. Daniel says my toothbrush. Yes, that's a good one too. Toothbrush. Definitely. Also, I'm the type of person, when I fly, I definitely brush my teeth on the airplane, especially if it's an overnight flight. Right? I don't know. I can't sleep without brushing my teeth. That's the one thing. Okay, Amitava says, Linda, it was very good to know about your positive attitude towards life. For me, my Sony camera is the one essential item, which is a must for any trip for me. Yes, camera, definitely. As a content creator, I always need to bring my camera. And then sometimes I also cannot forget, I did that before. I went on a trip and I forgot my SD card. Can you imagine? So I had to go to this for like the shopping mall, whatever it was. I had to find like a shopping mall. First thing I had to do was buy a new SD card so I could take pictures. Also my batteries for my camera. And then also, I've done that before too, I have a tripod. And there is, if you have a tripod, there's this connecting thing that you need to put on the bottom of your camera, like a thingy, so you can attach your camera to the tripod. And you don't know how many times I forgot to bring this little thing. And then if you don't bring that, you cannot use your tripod. It's useless. So this is also very important. So thank you, Amitava. I'm going to check and double check my camera stuff. All right, Maiden says, hope you feel better before you and your husband's flight to Thailand. How about electric plug adapters or cell phone SIM card? Yes, we're also going to bring our plug adapters, but we sorted out our phone already. We actually don't have to buy a SIM card. We can actually do that with our Korean plan that we can use internet and stuff in Thailand. So we already did that. Yes, thank you. Awesome, great tip. All right, good stuff. I see you're also all well traveled. You know, you know what to do, what not to forget. Very, very good. All right, thank you guys. Then I think it's time for me to say goodbye. It was really great seeing you all again and all your questions and all your great comments. It always means so, so much to me. We're a really great community. I really missed you every Friday. And like I said, next Friday, I won't be here. I will be in Thailand. But after that, I will be back and we can have another chat. And I hope to see you all again after that. Take care. I hope you also have a good week and a good time wherever you are and what you're doing. And just don't forget about the 30% if you are not yet TEFL certified or you want to get an additional course. Now is a great time to do so. 30% off as well. And Amitava says, so you are visiting Thailand for vacation purposes. Good luck and best wishes for your upcoming trip. Yes, summer vacation. Very excited. It's not the first time since COVID that I travel internationally. I went back home to Germany in the winter, but it's the first time traveling internationally again since COVID with my husband together. So that would be very nice. I'm very excited about that. And Thailand is always great. It will be my third time in Thailand. I love Thailand. It's a place you can always go back to. Good food, good people, beautiful temples. I'm all about the temples and the palaces and the massages, the markets, and the good food. So yeah. Thank you guys. And I hope to see you all again in 2 weeks then. All right, guys, take care. Thank you so much for joining and today's session. And yeah, take good care. I'm going to see you all next time. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, John. I'm going to enjoy my stay a lot. Thank you. Bye.